America's military members on duty and after action. We're dedicated today to looking at the men and women and their families affected by defending the freedom of the nation. We're also examining ways service members can get support, and those who support veterans can learn to do it more effectively. All on This Week in Jacksonville. With Veterans Day coming up, we are focused this morning on veterans issues. That's all of our show today. Warrior Care Network is a collaboration between Wounded Warrior Project and 4 world-class academic medical centers across the country. They deliver 2 to 3 weeks of intensive outpatient treatment for the invisible wounds of war. I spoke with the director of the program and one of our local participants.
Disorders such as post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, anxiety, depression. These programs are 2 to 3 weeks in length. They are delivered, the clinicians that deliver the interventions at these programs are all trained in, military cultural competence, so they know all of the lingo and the jargon. And so the veterans don't have to spend the time going through all the acronyms or explaining roles and ranks. That's very important, to how this runs. And one of the really unique factors of Warrior Care Network is the participants go through this in what's called a cohort model. So they're going through these 2 to 3 weeks with other veterans that have experienced, similar things. And we know, especially in the military community, that having that sense of belonging, that sense of being understood, that camaraderie is just so important to the healing process.
Yeah, Lawrence Chandler, so I understand you've got that military background. You've got the experience with acronyms of your own as a civilian. Yeah, Aaron Fletcher's talking about those acronyms. As a civilian, I had to learn a whole bunch of those sorts of things. Tell me your experience after service. What were your needs as a warrior coming out of combat, and how has Wounded Warrior Project helped?
Well, upon returning home, the biggest issue for me was first admitting that I needed help, and then being able to find quality help that really made a difference. A lot of places fell short upon returning home to offer that. And I linked up with Wounded Warrior Project pretty soon after I returned home and realized that I needed some help. And they were quick to refer me to get therapy through the Warrior Care Network, and the quality of care from those clinicians alone is just a step up from what I was used to. And then they encouraged me to enter the home base program in Boston, their 2-week intensive program. And it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Besides for marrying my wife, I have to attribute that to the top. It really changed my life. I came from a pretty dark perspective before I ever linked up with Wounded Warrior Project. And who's to say where I would have ended up if I wouldn't have got linked up. And the Warrior Care Network helped me be present with my family again and enjoy life, and actually have a brighter outcome of the future compared to what I've seen it to be from before.
Lawrence, I am one of many in our community. Many of the people who are going to be watching this say, thank goodness you admitted you needed somebody to intervene, somebody to help out and come alongside you. Aaron Fletcher, tell me about the new part of this, because with the Warrior Care Network, I understand also including another aspect here, including substance use disorder treatment. Tell us about that.
$25 million investment back into Warrior Care Network really allows these 4 academic medical centers to provide more innovative approaches to treat individuals who have post-traumatic stress disorder and then are also dealing with a substance use disorder. Typically, those 2 things are treated at different times. They're not treated, as we say, concurrently, and that can lengthen the treatment process. Substance use disorders in particular are often barriers to getting into high-quality mental health care. And so being able to address these at the same time provides a much more comprehensive and seamless approach to the recovery process.
It seems like maybe those things go hand in hand. The PTSD may link with a substance use disorder, someone saying, I don't know how to manage this thing that's going on inside of me, and turn to something like substance abuse. Is that accurate?
I think that's a fair assessment. I think that, the providers at Warrior Care Network are coming from a place of recognizing that they do go hand in hand for some individuals that, without knowing the proper and, most effective coping skills, this feels like it might be, using substances might be the only way to cope and to get through. And, we really recognize that, they're doing the best that they can with the information that they have. And so being able to be part of this treatment and, be afforded the opportunity to learn these, more effective, long-lasting coping skills, resources, trainings to live that purposeful and fulfilling life is really what we're here for.
Lawrence, tell me just a little bit about your experience. I know it can probably be pretty personal here, but what were you going through and how was Warrior Care Network able to help? Is it still helping? Is there an impact on your life and your family now?
Oh, definitely. The biggest benefit is the continuity of care. They never stop. I can email any of my clinicians back at home base today, and they would get back to me immediately with any advice, anything that they could do to help me. And that was just the biggest thing, just knowing that they're there. But also while I was there, the tools that they gave me to deal with the things like seclusion, like I would never leave the house and things like that. I couldn't go to events to watch my family grow, things like that. Just being in high stress situations, I just couldn't function. They gave me the tools to handle those situations. And that's the biggest gift that anybody could give you in that situation is just the tools to be able to do the work yourself. And it is intense. That 2 weeks is intense. You get a year's worth of therapy broken down into 2 weeks. So it's intense, but it's definitely worth the work.
Lawrence, if you just wrap up our conversation here, our interview is ahead of it, but we're going to be showing this leading up to the week of Veterans Day. What would you say to your comrades, the other veterans who are out there who maybe need some care and aren't getting it right now? What would you say to them?
I would just like to tell them if anybody feels like, they're not at 100%, seek help. It doesn't make you weak. It takes a strong person to go after help. And there's plenty of help out there and people that want to help. And I recommend Wounded Warrior Project and the Warrior Care Network to every veteran that I come across because I feel that they can all use a little bit of what they have to offer.
Aaron, I asked Lawrence to wrap it up, but let me come back to you for just a second. What does it mean to treat these two things concurrently, simultaneously? Why is that important?
Treating both of these, disorders concurrently really allows for, I wouldn't want to say necessarily a faster recovery, but because they're so intertwined, trying to tease them apart and take care of one before the other's complete can increase the, participants' frustration in the process. It can lead to feeling hopeless that this isn't going to get any better. Why isn't anything working? So being able to address these head on in a treatment program that is tailor-made for the individual that's participating just really increases the chances of successful outcomes.
And let me show you just a little bit of the impact of the Warrior Care Network. Over 5 years, there's been $290 million invested. These 4 academic medical center partners are part of this, and that means more than 3,000 veterans have completed this intensive outpatient program. An additional 2,650 veterans have been treated as well, so obviously making a big, big difference to veterans throughout our nation. All right, new topic. If you're in charge of the Navy League, you were a sailor, right? Not necessarily. Army Colonel Bill Cousins is with us, and that's next on This Week in Jacksonville.
It's a fact. More people die from medical malpractice than in car accidents. If you suspect a doctor or a hospital is to blame for an injury, call Farah & Farah. We specialize in these types of cases. Farah & Farah, here for you, here for good.
What else can Medicare do? Can it offer you a Medicare Advantage plan that doesn't make you choose between the benefits you want and a price that meets your budget? It can. Introducing No Compromise Medicare from Florida Blue. Call today and finally get the plan that's right for you. so you can start spending less and getting more benefits like comprehensive dental and eyeglasses and hearing aids. No Compromise Medicare helps you get more benefits without having to pay more. So call 1-866-428-7420 to learn more today. And you could get an over-the-counter allowance for everyday items such as toothpaste and aspirin. And some plans even give you extra money in your Social Security check every month. You could even have coverage that travels with you to 46 states. So get the benefits you want at a price that meets your budget. And discover what else your Medicare plan can do with a Florida Blue Medicare Advantage plan. Call 1-866-428-7420 today. Don't wait. Annual enrollment ends December 7th.
When Hurricane Irma came through, there was a hole in our roof that rats were coming in. I contacted the insurance company. They denied it. It was just ridiculous. I was so angry. I came walking in the house, and on my television set, there was John Morgan. I think I called him before the commercial actually even ended. The feeling I had when we finally got our new roof, it was a peace of mind. My wife and I will be sitting on our couch, and the Morgan & Morgan commercial comes on, and we clink our glasses together, and we say, "For the people."
Well, hello, Winn-Dixie. And hello to a thanks-worthy feast, free with all our delicious rewards points. Your refined palate misses nothing, my twin. So many sweet points baked into every bite. The freshest veggies, the tender turkey, the points. Agreed. Here's to earning free groceries. And to Winn-Dixie, the most rewarding place to shop. Win-win twins for the win. Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win.
When a man with a lifelong injury was told by his first attorney that his insurance maxed out at $10,000, he wanted a second opinion. We found hidden in the fine print $450,000. He got every penny. Farah and Farah.
I hear my husband go, "The oven exploded."
Yep, you heard that right. An exploding oven. So how is that even possible? And could it happen in your home?
A consumer alert exposing a frightening phenomenon.
It will immediately shatter into a million pieces. The temperature alone is not necessarily the issue. And that then brings up the question of, well, why?
Revealing an invisible weakness and the setting that can turn your oven into an explosive appliance. Monday starting at 5 on News 4 Jax. You're watching This Week in Jacksonville with Kent Justice.
And in this segment, we are joined this morning by Colonel Bill Cousins, who lives in our area. He's a U.S. Army veteran, and he's been involved in veteran service organizations over the years. Most recently, you were leading the Navy League. One of the ways that we met was your involvement in the Navy League. So, Colonel, isn't that unusual for an Army man to lead out with the Navy League?
Yes, it is, Kent, and it may even be unique. I'm not sure. I could be the only Army guy who's ever been president of a Navy League council, but I was born in a Navy town and raised there in Norfolk, Virginia. A lot of my family were Navy, so I speak the language. All my buddies here, I've lived here in Jacksonville 16 years. All my buddies are Navy guys and gals. And it was just kind of a natural. You know, the Army and Navy have a lot of differences. However, we do have one goal in common, and that is the defense of the United States of America. So it worked out.
Yeah, sure. Hey, we want to show some images of you and your service over the years, but tell me your experience living in Jacksonville and really how this region is someplace that people want to come when they retire.
Well, you know, Jacksonville, I think, is a great town for veterans to settle in, and many of them do. And Jacksonville has a very significant military and veteran population. Probably 1 in every 10 in Jacksonville is either serving or has served. And if you include their family members, it's probably 1 in every 4 Jacksonvillians are some way connected to the military. The city's really tuned in to the value and the economic impact of veterans, and they have a military affairs and veterans department that serves veterans all over the community. And we have lots of local other veteran organizations that help out too. You know, some of the national veterans organizations are actually headquartered here in Jacksonville, like the POW MIA Memorial is at Cecil Field here, right in Jacksonville. Wounded Warriors here. Canines for Warriors is here. Operation New Uniform is here, helping find jobs for veterans. Firewatch was founded last year to help prevent veteran suicides. There's just a lot. UNF has a military and veterans a resource center run by our friend Captain Buin, and he serves over 1,600 military veteran students there at UNF. So it's a big, the veterans feel good here and feel welcome. And of course, the climate and the affordability compared to some other places is much better. The beaches are great.
Those things, yeah.
Fishing is great,
Well, Colonel Cousin, let's be a little more serious on this. We look at your service, and I know what you told me was you started in 1966. So you've, in your history of military service, where does the recent withdrawal from Afghanistan sit with you? I know a lot of the veterans that I've talked to were fairly upset with how that went and what it felt to them that it said about their service.
Well, I served 2 of my 27 Army years in Vietnam, and the exit from Afghanistan looked a lot like the way we left Vietnam in a lurch, just all of a sudden. And yes, even a young soldier, a novice, knows there's an order of precedence for making a withdrawal, and it's get out. Something, my phone just rang over here. It's getting out friendly civilians, followed by equipment that's not needed, and then getting the troops out last, but maintaining security for those troops until the very end. And it upsets a lot of veterans the way it was done. It just makes us feel hopeless. Like, what was it all for? We wasted 20 years and a lot of lives and a lot of resources. And it's very upsetting.
Yeah. Well, Colonel, if you would, Veterans Day coming up this week, what is the best way for a civilian, one of us, to be able to make sure that we show support for and gratitude to veterans like you?
Well, veterans serve guys like you and all your viewers. So we're grateful to have served, and it's an honor to have served. But I think just recognize that it is Veterans Day. It's not just another day off or day out of school or day out of work. It's something important. It was started in 1926 as Armistice Day to honor World War I veterans, and then it was changed by President Eisenhower to honor all those who've served, and changed the name to Veterans Day. I think just thank a veteran in your family or one you just happen to see, or buy them a lunch or something. Just show some appreciation for it and don't just ignore it.
Yeah. Well, let me see, Colonel Bill Cousins, you'll be on my list of veterans that I'm going to call and say, hey, thank you, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you being with us.
I look forward to it.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right, well, stay with us. Many faith leaders have a more limited understanding of essential issues that are common to veterans. So how do you solve that? Chaplain Eric Wester and General Mike Fleming, they've got an answer, and that's next on This Week in Jacksonville.
We want people to feel that when they call Harrell and Harrell, they're calling Harrell and Harrell. They're not calling a satellite office or a call center or getting an automated phone system. We are with our clients, fighting for our clients, handling the process ourselves, and not asking others to do that for us. I mean, we feel like we made the right decision to be the size that we are, large enough to take on anyone, but small enough to care and really know our clients.
Shoeboxes of Love shares the holiday spirit with the homeless in our community, and you can help by filling a shoebox with travel-sized personal care items and then wrapping the box in a new blanket. Donations can be dropped off at any of these locations. Get all the details on the Positively Jax page on news4jax.com.
I didn't have to shout out for help.
Because you didn't have another DVT. Not today. One blood clot put you at risk of having another. So we chose Xarelto to help keep you protected.
Xarelto is proven to treat and reduce the risk of DVT or PE blood clots from happening again. Almost 98% of people did not have another DVT or PE. Don't stop taking Xarelto without talking to your doctor, as this may increase risk of blood clots. While taking, a spinal injection increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis. You may bruise more easily or take longer to stop bleeding. Xarelto can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Get help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising. Don't take Xarelto if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures and any kidney or liver problems. Help protect yourself from another DVT or PE. Ask your doctor about Xarelto. To learn more about cost, visit Xarelto.com or call 1-888-XARELTO.
At Firehouse Subs, a portion of every purchase helps provide life-saving equipment to first responders across the country. So at Firehouse Subs, we don't just make subs. We make subs that are big, bold, and craveable. We make our subs differently because our subs make a difference. Whether you order online or on our app, Firehouse Subs Rapid Rescue to Go will have your subs boxed, bagged, and ready for pickup. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs. Save more lives.
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits. Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class healthcare. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
If you've been injured by medical malpractice, call Farah & Farah for a free review of your case, even if another firm has turned your case down. Farah & Farah.
You're watching This Week in Jacksonville on Channel 4.
Thanks for staying with us. Several veteran service organizations are collaborating. In about a week, they are sponsoring a faith leader military awareness and support training event. Joining us now virtually, Chaplain Eric Wester from the Veterans Administration and Brigadier General Mike Fleming from the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinics at Centerstone. General, why does this show up as a need in our area?
Ken, thanks for having us on. And really, it's because veterans are in the faith community because they don't normally go out into the bases for their faith. And what they do is they're in every different type of faith throughout Northeast Florida. We really feel like the veterans and their families turn to faith leaders for help and guidance. And we want to provide training and awareness to these faith leaders to allow them to help and do more for their veterans and military families in their house of worship.
Yeah, Chaplain Wester, help us understand, what is that dynamic between a faith leader, the pastor, priest, rabbi, imam, and a member of the military?
Sure. I think one of the first considerations is what I call the age and stage reality for people in the military. If you think of the range of people that serve in the military, something like 80 or 85% of military members are in that decade between age 18 and 27. A lot of first-term soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen, guardians of the Space Force. So I think one of the touchstones of this dynamic has to do with connecting with young adults. Every faith community includes in part of their mission finding ways to make connections with young adults in their faith group. And I think in terms of life issues, when I say age and stage, I think two important issues. One would be for these military members forming adult relationships. Faith communities are a great place where young adults form adult relationships. A second theme for faith leaders is cultivating, and this is a religious word, vocation. People in that age cohort, 18 to 27, are making decisions about their career, about their occupation, or what we in the faith community often call vocation. So clergy can be a supportive pastor and friend in building relationships, and also help young adults navigate making decisions about vocation.
Yeah, and I certainly hear about those young people, whether they continue serving or they've moved out of military service. So those are some key elements. General, the training that you're leading here coming up in about a week, or what degree of detail is that going to involve? So what I'm asking is this a boot camp for those who haven't served in the military, or does it dive deeper into the issues to understand what's going on for a current or former military member?
Yeah, we don't want to scare anybody with boot camp because we're not yelling and screaming at anybody, but what we are doing, it's two phases, and it's really yes to both parts of that. The first part that I'm going to teach is really about the military experience, because we feel like foundationally what the faith leaders need to know is what a military member experiences and also what their families understand and what they experience, because we feel like with this fundamental aspect of it, it'd be very helpful. because one of the other things we're doing too on the Firewatch webpage, which is our Northeast Florida Fight Against Veteran Suicide, we've created a faith leader resource page. So what we want to do is provide not only a basic understanding of the military, but also resources for faith leaders so they can go to that. And then Chaplain Wester, in the second part of our training, is going to talk about the relationship. What you talked about, Kent, is what faith leaders specifically need to know when dealing from a pastoral aspect, which Chaplain Wester, both in the Army and the VA, has always provided.
So, Chaplain, in our final minute here, are there specific congregations in our region who are like taking it to the next level of support? What are maybe some examples?
Many congregations find ways, especially around Veterans Day or other important holidays, to recognize military members, veterans, and their families. One particular example is a congregation here in Jacksonville called the Evangel Temple Assemblies of God. They do a series of programs through the year. Thanksgiving is a big observation for them, observance, and they rely on military members and veterans to collect the food and distribute food to homeless vets. They do a Christmas drive. They do a youth mentoring and outreach program called the Atlantic Coast Young Marines, where youth come to the church and are part of a program to foster drill and ceremony, physical fitness, learning first aid. And just this past Friday, Evangel Temple hosted their annual Veterans Recognition Dinner. And it's become really quite a big event, both for our congregation and for neighbors and friends in the community. So I would do a shout out to all congregations that spend some time in prayer or recognition of veterans and military members. But there's one example for you.
I appreciate those. I want to share with everybody some of the information in case they're interested in this. The Faith Leader Military Awareness and Support Training is coming up Monday, November 15th. It's from 9 until 11:15 in the morning at the Cohen Clinic. You see the address on the screen right there in Jacksonville. And you want to contact General Fleming to sign up or get more info. His email, that's on your screen right now, and then we'll have it online for you as well. Chaplain Wester, General Fleming, thanks so much. We appreciate it. And for everybody else, we want to invite you to join us on Thursday for the City of Jacksonville's Veterans Day Parade. It's presented by the law offices of Ron Scholes. Starts at 11 a.m. You can watch the parade in its entirety on Channel 4, news4jax.com, or on News4Jax Plus. I'll be one of the MCs of the event along with Melanie Lawson. Thanks so much for joining us today. You can find us every Sunday morning at this time on Channel 4.